Are you a content creator looking to capture better sounding audio? Would it save time to have all of your audio captured directly in camera to avoid syncing with external recorders in post? What about having externally recorded backups for when you're shooting important events? If you answered yes, then you should definitely check out this RØDE Wireless Pro. I will be putting chapter markers below, so feel free to skip ahead if you want to see a comparison between this and the DJI Mic system. But in this video, I'm going to review the RØDE Wireless Pro and give my thoughts on it from the perspective of a wedding filmmaker. Spoiler, this system completely replaced my Zoom F2 and DR10L recorders. If you haven't already seen it, please check out my unboxing and full setup video. Also, if you find this video helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. The first thing I want to talk about is audio quality. The whole point of having an external audio recorder is to capture the best sounding audio, and this system delivers. There are built-in mics on each of the transmitters, as well as included lavalier mics with locking mic jacks. Both options sound great and each have their own use cases. Most of the time I'll be using the lavalier mic for weddings since it's a lot smaller and much easier to hide. If you have your own lavalier mic already, don't worry, it's a standard 3.5mm mic jack with standard locking threads. So other mics with that same jack will work fine as well. There is a clip on the back to be able to easily clip the transmitter in place. It is a plastic clip though, so if you want to be able to attach it with the included magnet, you'll also have to attach this little metal plate. Once you add that on, it opens up many other mounting options. I think that DJI had a much better idea to make the clip itself out of metal, but at least there is that magnetic option. Moving on to the receiver, it's basically the same size as the transmitters, but with a screen on the front and an output jack on the side. On paper, these have a wireless range of 260 meters, which is over 850 feet. You may be wondering why you need an audio system with that long of a range, but in real life, in large crowds, and with lots of wireless interference, that range is going to be significantly less. With the exception of one time, the only time I've had major dropouts are before weddings, when the groom and officiant are off in the getting ready area. But once they're in the same room, it typically transmits fairly well. The one time I did have issues was when another 2.4 gigahertz wireless audio system was being used, and those transmitters were placed right next to my transmitters. My receiver was only about 60 feet away, but I was having constant dropouts throughout the entire wedding. Thankfully, the transmitters had their own 32-bit float backup recordings internally that I was able to pull off and manually sync in post, but I did have to rely on the DJI's UHF wireless audio system for the live stream audio. So in addition to being able to output an analog signal to any camera, the Wireless Pro can also be used to output a digital signal directly into a phone or computer. This is a game changer for content creators to be able to have high quality audio from an off-camera microphone recorded directly with the video. Speaking of content creators, if your primary use will be to plug it directly into your phone, then the DJI Mic may be your better option. DJI's system makes me think of AirPods, but for wireless mics. As you can see here, the DJI's receiver plugs directly into your phone's either USB-C or Lightning port, versus having to have this small 12-inch cord and then having to figure out what to do with the receiver when you're recording. And while both systems come with charging cases, the RØDE system is a little more clunky by physically plugging into the USB-C port in the case each time you dock it versus the magnetic holder of the DJI system. Also, having the adapter accessories stored conveniently in a single case makes the DJI mic that much more appealing. The Rode case does have one advantage in that it lets you offload your files from both transmitters at the same time by only using one cable. But if you don't ever use the backup recordings or sync audio in post, the DJI case is way cooler. Another major difference between the RØDE Wireless Pro and the DJI Mic is the internal recording time. Again, if you don't use the backup recording, then this doesn't apply to you, but the RØDE Wireless Pro has about 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which can record for around 44 hours on a 32-bit floating point file. DJI Mic 2 has the ability to record in 32-bit float, which I highly recommend over 24-bit, but it has to be enabled in the app and can only record for a little over 11 hours on the 8 gigabytes of internal storage. Also, while it's not that big of a difference, the Rode has the advantage of an extra hour of battery life, with 7 hours for the transmitters versus 6 hours for the DJI transmitters. Both of the battery cases will provide power for an additional 2 charges, so not that you would need it for a single shoot, but that makes 21 hours of total runtime for the Rode and only 18 hours for DJI. Comparing audio quality, the Rode system has the advantage. I like the sound of the built-in mics slightly better than DJI's mic, and for this part I'm going to be switching back and forth between both systems to let you decide for yourself which one sounds better. And for this part, I'm going to be switching back and forth between both systems to let you decide for yourself which one sounds better. So please leave a comment below with which one you prefer. The Rode system does include lavalier mics, which DJI's system doesn't. Another bonus of Rode that I mentioned earlier is that it has locking mic jacks. As long as you're filming something that can be redone, it's not that big of a deal to take the risk of going without a locking mic jack. But when filming something as important as a wedding, there are no redos. Having the audio cut out or not capturing it at all make me want to stay away from the more consumer-oriented DJI mic set. So what are your thoughts on these wireless audio systems? Let me know in the comments section below. I was a little hesitant to switch from my trusty non-transmitting personal lavalier recorders, but I've been very happy with the performance of the RØDE Wireless Pro. It has exactly what I needed in a simple, compact microphone system with all the features of my old recorders, plus wirelessly transmitting to my camera for great audio live streaming and saving me time in post-production by not having to sync up from external recorders.